Welcome to the fascinating world of coin collecting, where even an ordinary-looking 1969 D Washington quarter can hold extraordinary potential. Featuring the iconic image of George Washington and produced by the United States Mint, this coin is more than just spare change. It's a piece of history waiting to be rediscovered. Hidden within worn and dirty surfaces could be rare errors or high-grade details that transform its value from a few cents into something truly remarkable. Take a closer look, because your next coin might just be the one that changes everything. Top 5. First up, the story of the 1969 D Washington quarter begins with one of the most recognizable figures in American history, George Washington, whose profile has appeared on the quarter since 1932. By 1969, the United States was going through a period of economic adjustment, and coin production was shifting away from silver toward copper-nickel-clad compositions. The Denver Mint, marked by the small d on the coin, produced millions of these quarters for everyday circulation. At first glance, the 1969 D quarter may seem like an ordinary piece of change, but under the right conditions, it can become a highly desirable collectible with surprising value. During this era, the United States Mint was striking coins in massive quantities to meet public demand. The 1969 D quarter had a standard design, Washington's portrait on the obverse and the iconic eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, often becoming worn, scratched, and very dirty as they passed through countless hands. Ironically, this heavy usage is part of what makes certain surviving examples so fascinating to collectors today. What truly elevates the value of a 1969 D Washington quarter is not just its age or appearance, but the presence of rare minting anomalies or exceptionally preserved condition. Coins that appear ordinary to the untrained eye may hide subtle errors, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet flaws, that dramatically increase their worth. These rare variations are the key reason some collectors speak of these coins in almost mythical terms. It is important to understand that not every 1969 D quarter is valuable. In fact, the vast majority are worth only their face value or slightly more. However, when a coin is discovered in near-perfect condition, graded as mint state, or contains a verified error, its price can rise significantly. Collectors are constantly searching for these hidden gems, examining even the dirtiest coins in hopes of finding something extraordinary. The idea that such a coin could be worth millions is often exaggerated, but it reflects a deeper truth about rare collectibles. Under exceptional circumstances, a single coin can indeed transform someone's financial situation. High-grade coins or rare error varieties have sold for thousands of dollars, and in extremely rare cases, similar coins in the broader Washington quarter series have reached astonishing prices at auctions. This fuels the belief that a simple coin could change a person's fortune overnight. Condition plays a critical role in determining value. A very dirty condition coin might seem undesirable, but sometimes dirt and tunning can actually protect the coin's surface from damage. If cleaned improperly, however, the coin can lose much of its collector value. Serious collectors prefer coins that remain in their natural state, even if they appear worn or aged, because authenticity is more valuable than artificial shine. Another factor influencing value is rarity within circulation. While millions of 1969 D quarters were minted, only a tiny fraction survive today in high-grade condition or with unique characteristics. Over decades, many were lost, damaged, or melted, making the remaining examples more scarce. This gradual reduction in supply increases demand among collectors, especially those aiming to complete a full set of Washington quarters. The historical context of 1969 also adds subtle appeal. This was a time when the United States was undergoing technological advancements and social change, including the space race era. Coins from this period serve as small, tangible reminders of that transformative time. For collectors, owning such a coin is not just about value, it is about holding a piece of history. Collectors often advise patience and careful examination. A coin that looks insignificant today might reveal hidden details under magnification. The Mint Mark D itself confirms its origin from Denver, which can influence desirability when paired with rare features. Even slight differences in strike quality or alignment can mean the difference between an ordinary coin and a highly valuable one. Despite the excitement, it is important to stay grounded. The notion that every 1969 D quarter could make someone a billionaire overnight is more fantasy than reality. However, the possibility of discovering a rare and valuable coin is real, and that possibility is what keeps collectors searching through jars, old collections, and pocket change with enthusiasm. If you happen to own a 1969 D Washington quarter, the best approach is to have it carefully evaluated by a professional grading service. Experts can determine its condition, authenticity, and any unique features that might increase its value. Without proper evaluation, it is easy to underestimate or overestimate what the coin is truly worth. In the end, the 1969 D Washington quarter represents more than just currency. It is a symbol of history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery. Whether it is worth a few cents or a significant sum, its true power lies in the possibility it holds. The idea that something small and overlooked could one day become a treasure capable of changing your fortune. Next up, the idea that a 1973 D Washington quarter could instantly make someone a billionaire is, frankly, a stretch. But that doesn't mean the coin isn't interesting or worth learning about. In reality, most examples of this coin are quite common, yet certain rare conditions or errors can make it significantly more valuable than face value. Understanding what truly gives a coin value is the key to separating myth from genuine opportunity. The 1973 D quarter belongs to the long-running George Washington quarter series, first introduced in 1932. By 1973, these coins were being struck in large numbers for everyday circulation. The D Mint mark indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the major U.S. coin production facilities. Millions upon millions of these quarters were released, which is why most examples today are still very common. However, collectors don't just look at the date, they focus on condition. A heavily worn or dirty condition coin, as you described, usually has lower value because details are faded and surfaces are damaged. Dirt itself doesn't add value. In fact, improper cleaning can reduce it further. But sometimes, coins that look ordinary at first glance can hide rare features, and that's where things become exciting. What truly drives high value in a 1973 D quarter is not the year alone, but special characteristics. For example, coins graded in extremely high condition, what collectors call mint state, MS67 or higher, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. These coins are nearly flawless, with sharp details and original luster that has survived decades untouched. Another factor that can dramatically increase value is the presence of mint errors. Errors like double strikes, off-center designs, or die cracks can make a coin unique. A rare error on a 1973 D quarter could push its value far beyond typical market prices. These are the kinds of coins collectors actively hunt for, and they are far scarcer than regular circulation pieces. It's also important to understand the composition of the coin. The 1973 D quarter is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, not silver. Unlike pre-1965 quarters, it contains no precious metal, which limits its base value. This is why the majority of these coins are only worth their face value, 25 cents, unless they have exceptional qualities. The myth of million-dollar quarters often comes from confusion with extremely rare coins, such as error coins or historically significant pieces from earlier years. While it's technically possible for a coin to reach very high prices, a standard 1973 D quarter in circulated condition is not one of those million-dollar rarities. Still, that doesn't mean you should ignore it. Knowledge can turn a simple coin into a meaningful collectible. Collectors also look at strike quality. Some Denver-minted quarters from 1973 show weaker strikes, especially in areas like Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers. A sharply struck coin with full detail is more desirable and can command a premium. Even small differences like this can separate a coin worth cents from one worth significantly more. Another hidden factor is original mint luster. Coins that have not been circulated retain a certain shine that reflects light in a unique way. This cartwheel effect is highly prized among collectors. If your coin still has this luster despite its age, it may be worth having it evaluated by a professional grading service. The market for coins is driven by demand as much as rarity. While the 1973 D quarter is not among the most famous collectible coins, there is still a steady community of collectors who appreciate high-grade examples. Auction results show that top-condition pieces can fetch impressive prices, though not the exaggerated millions often claimed in viral stories. If you truly believe your coin is special, the best step is to have it authenticated and graded. Professional grading companies can assign a condition score and confirm whether any rare features exist. This process can transform uncertainty into clear value and help you understand exactly what you have. In the end, the real power of a 1973 D Washington quarter lies not in overnight riches, but in the possibility of discovery. Most will remain ordinary, but a few, through condition, error, or preservation, can become valuable collectibles. Instead of expecting instant fortune, approach the coin with curiosity and careful examination, because in the world of numismatics, knowledge is what truly turns small change into something meaningful. Next up, let's get one thing clear right away. A 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark is not automatically a million-dollar coin. That idea sounds exciting, but it's not grounded in how the coin market actually works. Still, don't lose interest. There are specific conditions and rare errors where this coin can become surprisingly valuable, and understanding those is where the real opportunity lies. The 1966 quarter belongs to the famous Washington quarter series, which has been produced since 1932 to honor George Washington. By 1966, the United States had already shifted away from silver coinage due to rising metal costs. That means your 1966 quarter is made of a copper-nickel clad composition rather than precious silver, which immediately limits its base metal value compared to earlier coins. Now about the missing mint mark. This is completely normal. Between 1965 and 1967, the United States Mint intentionally removed mint marks from coins to discourage hoarding during a nationwide coin shortage. So a 1966 quarter without a mint mark isn't rare by default. It's actually the standard version produced in massive quantities. However, where things get interesting is condition and errors. A very dirty coin, as you described, usually reduces value rather than increases it. Collectors prefer coins that are clean, sharp, and well preserved. Dirt, corrosion, and heavy wear can hide important details and lower demand. Ironically, cleaning the coin improperly can also damage it further and reduce its worth even more. That said, certain rare errors can transform an ordinary 1966 quarter into something special. For example, coins with double strikes, off-center designs, or unusual planchet errors can attract serious collectors. These are not common, but when they do appear, they can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how dramatic the error is. Another important factor is grading. Coins are professionally evaluated on a scale from poor condition to mint state perfection. If your 1966 quarter somehow remains in near-perfect condition, what collectors call mint state 65 or higher, it could be worth significantly more than face value, even without any errors. But finding such a coin in very dirty condition is unlikely. There's also a myth that some 1966 quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets. While extremely rare transitional errors do exist in coin history, confirmed examples for 1966 quarters are exceptionally scarce and heavily scrutinized. If such a coin were authenticated, it could indeed be worth a large sum, but this is the exception, not the rule. In the real market, most 1966 quarters, even older ones, are worth around 25 cents to a few dollars at best if circulated. Uncirculated examples might fetch slightly more, especially if they have strong luster and no damage. But the idea of instantly becoming a millionaire from a regular 1966 quarter is more fantasy than reality. Still, your coin could hold hidden value if it has something unusual. The key is careful inspection. Look closely at the lettering, date, and edges. Check if anything appears doubled, misaligned, or different from typical coins. Sometimes the smallest detail can make a big difference. If you believe your coin might be special, the next step is authentication. Professional grading services can examine your coin and assign it an official grade and certification. This adds credibility and can significantly increase its market value if it turns out to be rare. It's also worth remembering that coin collecting is not just about massive payouts. It's about history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery. Your 1966 quarter is a piece of American economic history from a time of major change in coin production. So while your coin is unlikely to make you a billionaire overnight, don't dismiss it either. Examine it closely, handle it carefully, and learn what makes coins valuable. Sometimes the real treasure isn't instant wealth, it's knowing exactly what you're holding in your hand. And here, where the story becomes even more intense, because sometimes the real value of a coin isn't visible at first glance. A worn, dirty 1966 quarter might look completely ordinary, something you could easily ignore or spend without a second thought. But history has shown that a few overlooked coins, hidden in pockets or jars for decades, have later revealed astonishing secrets. That's why serious collectors never judge a coin too quickly. They study it, they question it, and they search for the smallest unusual detail that others might miss. Imagine holding that coin under bright light, slowly rotating it, watching how the surface reflects. Every scratch, every mark, every tiny imperfection could either reduce its value or tell a deeper story. Sometimes what looks like damage is actually a minting error. A slight doubling in the letters, a shift in alignment, or an unusual thickness at the edge. These are the kinds of details that can quietly transform an everyday coin into something collectors compete for. There is also a psychological side to coin collecting that makes stories like yours so powerful. The idea that something so small, so common, could hold life-changing value is what keeps millions of collectors searching every day. It's not just about money, it's about possibility. The possibility that among millions of identical coins, one stands apart. One carries a mistake, a rarity, a unique fingerprint from the minting process that can never be recreated again. But here's the truth you must hold on to. Value comes from proof, not hope. The market doesn't reward imagination, it rewards verified rarity. That means if your 1966 quarter has something truly special, it must be confirmed by experts who understand every detail of coin production. Without that, even the most exciting story remains just a story. At the same time, never rush to sell a coin based on hype or emotional excitement. Many people make the mistake of believing exaggerated claims and end up either overpaying or underselling. The real winners in this field are patient. They research, they compare, and they wait until they know exactly what they have before making any decision. So treat your coin like a mystery waiting to be solved. Don't clean it aggressively, don't damage it, and don't assume its value too quickly. Store it safely, observe it carefully, and if needed, seek professional evaluation. Because while most 1966 quarters are ordinary, the journey of discovering whether yours is different, that's where the real excitement begins. Next up, the United States Washington quarter dated 1978, especially the one without a mint mark, is one of those coins that often gets surrounded by rumors, hype, and exaggerated claims online. Many people hear stories that such coins can be worth millions of dollars or even change someone's life overnight. However, when we carefully and realistically look at numismatic facts, the truth is quite different, and understanding that truth is what makes coin collecting actually valuable and exciting in a real way. The 1978 Washington quarter was minted as part of a very large circulation batch in the United States. Most of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why they often do not show a visible mint mark. This is completely normal, not rare or mysterious. Millions of these quarters were made for everyday use, which means they entered circulation widely and were used in daily transactions across the country. When a coin is described as no mint mark, many beginners assume it must be rare or special. In reality, for certain years like 1978, no mint mark simply indicates Philadelphia production. It does not automatically increase value in a dramatic way. The real value of such coins depends on condition, errors, and collector demand rather than just missing letters on the coin. Now, when we talk about value, condition becomes extremely important. A 1978 Washington quarter in heavily circulated or very dirty condition, as described, usually holds only its face value of 25 cents in everyday currency. Even in slightly better condition, it might only be worth a small premium of a few dollars to collectors. Dirt, wear, scratches, and fading significantly reduce collectible worth. The idea that such a coin could be worth millions of dollars is not supported by real numismatic markets. High-value quarters in the million-dollar range would require extreme rarity, major minting errors, historical significance, or unique specimen status, none of which apply to standard 1978 quarters. While exciting stories circulate online, they are usually exaggerated or misleading. However, coin collecting is still very powerful and exciting when approached correctly. Some quarters from other years with rare errors like double strikes, off-center designs, wrong planchets, or proof anomalies can indeed reach high auction values. But these are carefully verified by professional grading services, not ordinary circulated coins found in pocket change. If someone believes they have a valuable coin, the correct step is not to assume its worth based on internet claims, but to have it evaluated by a professional grading company. Organizations like PCGS or NGC inspect coins under strict standards and assign grades that reflect real market value. Without certification, most value claims remain speculation. The condition described, very dirty, is especially important. Dirt and heavy wear usually indicate long circulation use, which reduces collector interest. In numismatics, even small differences in surface quality can dramatically change value. A clean, uncirculated coin can be worth significantly more than a worn version of the same coin. Still, the 1978 Washington quarter has historical interest. It represents an era of US coinage where silver content had already been removed from quarters since 1965, and modern copper-nickel clad composition was standard. This makes it part of the everyday monetary history of the United States rather than a rare treasure piece. Collectors often enjoy these coins not because they are extremely valuable, but because they complete sets or represent personal history. Many people build Washington quarter collections year by year, and a 1978 piece is a normal but necessary part of that timeline. Its real worth lies in completeness rather than extreme price. It is also important to understand how viral misinformation spreads. Many online posts exaggerate coin values to attract attention, claiming ordinary coins are worth life-changing amounts. These claims are designed to be emotionally appealing, but are not based on verified auction results or professional grading data. In real market conditions, even well-preserved 1978 quarters rarely exceed a few dollars unless they have a specific minting error confirmed by experts. There is no documented case of a standard 1978 no-mint mark quarter selling for anything close to millions. Real numismatics always relies on evidence, not excitement-driven rumors. In conclusion, the 1978 Washington quarter is a common circulation coin with modest value in most cases. While it is always exciting to imagine hidden treasures in pocket change, True coin value comes from rarity, condition, and verified errors, not assumptions. Understanding this helps collectors focus on real opportunities rather than unrealistic expectations. As you continue exploring the world of coin collecting, the Washington Quarter teaches an important lesson. True value is not found in hype, but in knowledge. A simple 1978 quarter, even without a mint mark, becomes more meaningful when you understand its background, its journey through circulation, and its place in American coinage history. Instead of chasing unrealistic dreams of overnight wealth, the real power lies in learning how to identify genuine rarities, recognizing condition differences, and building a collection with patience and insight. That is where ordinary coins begin to feel extraordinary in the end. The story of a 1978 Washington Quarter is not about becoming a billionaire overnight, but about understanding the quiet, steady value hidden in everyday history. Coins like the Washington Quarter remind us that every piece carries a journey, from minting presses to countless hands over the years. While it may not hold $1 million price tag, it still holds meaning for collectors who appreciate authenticity over illusion. The real fortune in coin collecting comes from awareness, patience, and the ability to separate fact from fiction, because that is what turns an ordinary coin into a truly valuable discovery in your own way. Next up, the 1995 D Washington Quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, first introduced in 1932, honoring George Washington. By 1995, these coins were being produced in massive numbers for everyday circulation, and the D Mint mark tells us it was struck at the Denver Mint. At first glance, it may seem like just another ordinary coin, but collectors often look deeper, searching for subtle details, condition, and rare minting quirks that can transform a simple quarter into something far more intriguing. In reality, most 1995 D quarters were struck in the hundreds of millions, meaning they are extremely common in circulation. A typical example, even one that looks old, dirty, or heavily worn, usually holds only its face value of 25 cents. Dirt or discoloration does not increase a coin worth. In fact, it often lowers collector interest because it hides important details and may signal damage or improper storage. However, the story becomes more interesting when we talk about condition. In coin collecting, the difference between a worn coin and a pristine one can be dramatic. A 1995 D quarter that has never been used in circulation, what collectors call mint state, can be worth a few dollars, sometimes more if it has exceptional luster and sharp details. Coins graded at the very top levels, such as MS-67 or higher, are rare not because they were produced that way, but because so few survive without tiny scratches or marks. The idea of $1 million quarter often comes from misunderstanding or exaggeration. While it's true that some coins have sold for extraordinary amounts, those are usually extremely rare errors or historically significant pieces. The 1995 D Washington Quarter does not have any widely recognized variety or error that regularly reaches life-changing prices. That said, collectors are always searching, and unusual mint errors, like off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet mistakes, can make a coin far more valuable than normal. If your coin is in very dirty condition, it's important to resist the temptation to clean it. Cleaning a coin might make it look better to the untrained eye, but to collectors, it destroys originality and can significantly reduce value. Professional collectors prefer coins exactly as they were found, even if that means dirt and tunning remain intact. There is also a psychological aspect to coin collecting that fuels stories of hidden treasure. The thought that a simple coin in your pocket could change your life overnight is powerful and exciting. It keeps collectors searching through rolls of coins, old jars, and inherited collections. While most finds are modest, every now and then someone does discover something unusual, and those rare moments keep the dream alive. To truly evaluate a 1995 D quarter, you would need to examine it under good lighting or magnification. Look closely at the mint mark D, the details in Washington's hair, and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. Any unusual doubling, misalignment, or striking flaw could make the coin more desirable. Even then, professional grading services are often required to confirm authenticity and assign a value. It's also worth understanding how the coin market works. Value is not just about rarity, it's about demand. Millions of collectors focus on certain dates, conditions, or varieties. If a coin doesn't fit into a high-demand category, its price will remain modest, no matter how old it is. The 1995 D quarter, while collectible, is not considered a key date in the series. Still, there is value beyond money. Coins like the 1995 D Washington Quarter carry history in your hands. They pass through countless transactions, connecting people, places, and moments in time. Even a worn and dirty coin has a story, and for many collectors, that story is just as valuable as any price tag. If you are hopping for a high-value discovery, your best chance lies in identifying a genuine mint error or an exceptionally preserved coin. These are the factors that can push a coin's worth beyond the ordinary. Without them, the coin remains a common piece of US currency history rather than a hidden fortune. The belief that a single coin can instantly make someone a billionaire is more myth than reality. It's important to stay grounded and approach coin collecting with knowledge rather than expectation. Excitement is part of the hobby, but understanding the facts will help you make better decisions and avoid disappointment. In the end, the 1995 D. Washington quarter is a fascinating piece of everyday history rather than an ultra-rare treasure. It may not turn you into a millionaire overnight, but it can still spark curiosity, learning, and appreciation for the world of numismatics. And sometimes that journey, the search, the discovery, and the knowledge gained, is worth far more than the coin itself. There's a deeper thrill hidden within the world of coin collecting that goes beyond simple price tags, and the 1995 D. Washington quarter quietly sits inside that mystery. While it may not be the legendary million-dollar coin some stories suggest, it still carries the potential to surprise those who truly understand what to look for. Every tiny detail, the shine, the strike, the texture, can whisper clues about its journey and its hidden potential, especially to a trained eye that knows how rare perfection can be. Imagine holding a coin that has survived decades without losing its original brilliance, a coin that somehow escaped the scratches, wear, and damage that most others could not avoid. These are the coins that collectors chase with passion. A 1995 D quarter in near-perfect condition can stand out dramatically from the billions of ordinary examples, and in rare cases, such coins have reached surprisingly high prices at auctions, not because of age, but because of their flawless preservation. But the real excitement intensifies when the possibility of mint errors enters the picture. A slight doubling in the design, a misaligned strike, or an unusual flaw during production can turn an otherwise common coin into something far more desirable. These errors are often invisible to the casual observer, yet they hold the key to unlocking hidden value. Finding one is like discovering a secret that millions of others have overlooked. It's important to understand that condition and uniqueness work together. A heavily worn or dirty coin, even if old, rarely carries significant value unless it has a confirmed and rare error. Dirt alone does not create rarity. In fact, it can hide the very features that might make a coin special. That's why experienced collectors focus on clarity, detail, and authenticity above all else. The dream of overnight wealth through coins continues to inspire people around the world. Stories spread quickly, sometimes exaggerating values and creating the illusion that every old coin is a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. While those stories add excitement, the true path to value lies in patience, knowledge, and careful observation rather than hope alone. For those willing to learn, the 1995 D. Washington quarter becomes more than just spare change. It becomes a lesson in history, craftsmanship, and the fine line between ordinary and extraordinary. The more you study it, the more you begin to notice subtle differences that most people ignore, and that awareness is what separates casual holders from serious collectors. Even if your coin turns out to be common, the process of examining it can open the door to a much larger world. Coin collecting is filled with discoveries, and every coin you inspect sharpens your ability to recognize something rare when it finally appears. That moment, when you realize you found something unusual, is what keeps collectors searching. So while the 1995 D quarter may not guarantee instant riches, it still carries the spark of possibility. And sometimes, that possibility is enough to turn an ordinary coin into the beginning of an extraordinary journey. In the end, the journey of discovering coins like the 1995 D Washington quarter is not just about money. It's about curiosity, patience, and the excitement of the unknown. Every coin you hold could carry a hidden story, a silent mystery waiting to be uncovered by the right eyes. While not every coin will turn into a life-changing treasure, the thrill of searching, learning, and exploring makes the experience truly priceless. So keep looking closely, keep learning, and never underestimate what might be hiding in your collection, because sometimes the smallest discoveries can lead to the biggest surprises.